7 turnovers against 1 defender is not a matchup problem. It is the whole series staring San Antonio in the face. The Knicks lead the Spurs 2-0 in the 2026 NBA Finals, and tonight at Madison Square Garden, Victor Wemby has to solve Karl Anthony Towns before this becomes a 3-0 mountain. That is the spine of this game. Wemby is still putting up monster numbers, but Towns has been the primary defender, turning those numbers into hard labor. The Knicks have the next 2 games at MSG, and Game 3 is the pressure point. The headline number says Wemby's fine, 27.5 points, 10.5 rebounds, 3.5 blocks through 2 finals games. But that is why this matchup is so dangerous. The box score looks loud, while the possessions against Towns look uncomfortable. Game 1 showed it immediately. Wemby scored 26, but he shot 6 of 21 and turned it over 6 times, and the Knicks still rallied from 14 down in San Antonio. Then Game 2 came down to a 1-point finish, 105-104, with Jalen Brunson hitting the go-ahead free throw with 9.5 seconds left. Wemby had 29 and 9, but the final sequence still put the Towns problem right back on screen. Against Towns in this finals, Wemby is 7 of 19, and most of those shots are coming from the perimeter. For a player San Antonio needs near the rim, that is a massive defensive win for New York. And the turnovers are not random. Wemby already has 7 finals turnovers on possessions, guarded by Towns, which means New York is not just contesting him, it is bending the Spurs' offense at the point of attack.
We knew that our team was capable of doing this.
So why is Towns winning this? Discipline, footwork, and strength. He is keeping Wemby in front, holding the line, and letting Knicks wings swipe at the dribble, instead of giving Wemby a clean runway into the paint. That matters because the Knicks' plan is clear. Keep Wemby out of the paint. When the catch turns into a long hold, or the drive starts from too far out, Towns can stay attached and the help can crowd the ball. The season-long matchup backs it up. Towns forced 9 turnovers against Wemby across 124 possessions this season, while more than 10 other elite defenders forced 8 combined in 569 possessions. That is not a small sample feeling anymore. It says Towns has a specific answer to Wemby's handle. Stay balanced, absorb the first move, make the next bounce crowded, then trust the Knicks wings to attack the ball. And yes, Wemby is still scoring. But the bigger number is the Spurs offense. With him on the floor, San Antonio fell from 115.9 points per 100 possessions entering the series to 100 possessions entering the series, to 101.9 in the finals. That is the story. Towns does not need to erase Wemby. He just has to make every touch slower, farther from the rim, and more turnover prone, and through 2 games, that has been enough for New York. But there is a blueprint for Wemby, and it is not mysterious. When he attacks in space, he can take over a game completely. Against Chet Holmgren this season, Wemby scored 57 points with only 5 turnovers. That comparison matters because it shows the issue is not Wemby's ability to dominate elite size. It is the specific way Towns is turning his attacks into crowded possessions.
They're going to call an offensive foul.
So the adjustment starts before the shot. Wemby has to get downhill because every possession that becomes a perimeter jumper against Towns is exactly what New York wants. The clearest warning sign came in the final minute of Game 1. Wemby tried to drive past Towns, bounced the ball off his own knee, and the moment told you how tight New York had made the floor feel. Game 2 gave another pressure clip. With 12 seconds left, Wemby threw the ball off teammate Stephon Castle in transition instead of challenging Towns, then missed a jumper. That is the counterpoint to the big scoring average. 29 points in Game 2 is real production, but if the late possessions still end away from the rim, Towns and the Knicks will live with the math. The blueprint is simple and brutal. Catch with space, attack before the defense can swipe, and make Towns defend movement instead of a standing dribble. Wemby does not need a new identity. He needs the right launch point.
Oh, look at the finish here.
Game 3 is where the adjustments have to show up. Madison Square Garden hosts the next two games. The Knicks are up 2-0, and a New York win tonight puts them up 3-0 while chasing their first NBA title since 1973. First adjustment, cut the turnovers. Not all turnovers are equal. The ones against Towns are feeding the exact defensive plan New York wants, because every loose handle turns Wemby from attacker into recovery mode.
Congratulations, Wemby.
Second adjustment, live in the paint.
Spurs.
If most of the attempts against Towns keep coming from the perimeter, that is not just shot selection. That is New York controlling the geography of the matchup.
A result defined less by offensive fireworks and more by...
Third adjustment, make Towns defend in actions. Towns has been too comfortable meeting Wemby straight up, using his strength, staying in front, and letting the wings swipe, so San Antonio has to change the angle of the fight.
Chet Holmgren was getting...
The reason this is urgent is that Towns is not only defending the matchup, he's producing 19.5 points, 12.5 rebounds, and 4 assists through 2 finals games on high efficiency.
It's another Nick avalanche.
Game 1 was 18, 12, 4 and a block on 7 of 15 shooting. Game 2 was 21 points, 13 rebounds, and he led the Knicks in scoring.
Towns looking, turns, off 1 foot, gets it.
That is why Towns tops the 2026 Finals MVP ladder right now. He is not winning this series with one highlight. He is stacking defense, efficiency, rebounding, passing, and plus-minus into the cleanest case on the floor. So the Game 3 question is not whether Wemby can put up numbers. He already is. The question is whether those numbers can come from the places that actually punish New York, downhill, in the paint, before Towns and the wings turn every dribble into a trap. Because right now, Towns has flipped the matchup into a Knicks advantage. New York leads 2-0, Towns leads all finals players at plus 25, and San Antonio's offense with Wemby on the floor has dropped to 101.9 points per 100 possessions in the finals. Tonight at Madison Square Garden, Wemby gets the next answer. Can he flip the Towns matchup before the Knicks move to 3-0, or is New York pushing toward a sweep and its first title since 1973? Comment your answer, because this is the debate that decides the series conversation.